So today we are going to give you an overview. Today we are going to basically talk about Gmails and its advanced services, and in the process we'll be talking about setting up vacations and out of office responses. Occasionally a few of us, we go on vacations and somewhere. For example, when the semester recesses, begins. Our চলে যায় মাঝে মধ্যে, and people do not know that we are not in the office, and because we are not responding to them for, let's say, 5-6 days, they might end up having an idea যে মানুষটা professional now, he is not responding. I'm not responding because I'm probably not in my office right now, so they do not know. Second of all, we'll be discussing organizing emails and labeling and filtering of our emails. Most of the time, if I show you my email box, it is flooded with emails, and I have approximately 72 gigabytes of emails. So since the beginning of 2012, when I was employed for the first time, until today, I have probably more than 7,000 to 8,000 emails, and you already understood how difficult it is to find out any specific emails I'm looking for. For example, I'll go to the details later, but let me just go through what we are going to be talking about today. And third part, to talk about the advanced feature of Gmail, we'll be talking about conducting advanced searches. Everyone is well aware of how to conduct searches on Gmails, which is pretty much this way. We type in the person's email address, and then thousands and thousands of emails show up. We'll try to cover, give you an idea how you can actually make it more specific so that you get exactly what you're looking for. There is no point searching for a particular email for 20 minutes, for example. What you can get in 1 minute, you're actually ended up searching it for 20 minutes, or even some more time. Secondly, we'll talk about Google Calendar. Calendar is a very productive tool now that we have Google G Suite implemented throughout the campus. So Calendar has become a very efficient tool that we will be able to capitalize to simplify our day-to-day activities, academic, professional, personal as well. Then we'll be talking about setting up meetings using Google Calendar. Thirdly, we'll talk about viewing co-workers and resource calendar. Fourth, we'll be talking about adding tasks and reminders in your Google Calendar so that you constantly get reminded what you are missing. For example, if I was assigned by a task at the beginning of the week, maybe on Sunday, maybe the task is due till next Thursday, and somehow I forgot. So this is one effective way of reminding yourself every now and then that you have some pending tasks so that you can get on. And then we'll be talking about publishing and printing your calendar. Every faculty and admin staff, I'm sure, will have you actually already have your personal calendar, and this is very convenient if you go and share your calendar with everybody else, so that people know how occupied you are for a week, for example. So this is very important. This is one way of knowing that I have a very busy schedules throughout the week for the month. And then I am this is September, right? So let's say, for example, I am very occupied for the next 6 days. If I share my resources, for example, with your department coordinator or the head, he or she will know that you are heavily occupied with the tons of other academic things that you have to accomplish at the end of the week, so that he will be or she will be able to take decisions that what are the tasks that he could assign you, or he will actually be able to get an idea how occupied you are, and on the basis of that he'll be able to assign you tasks or other jobs. Thirdly, we'll talk about Google Drive if we still have time. These topics will take some time, I'm sure, but I'll try to be as specific as possible, as to the point as possible, and as I'll try to make sense, basically. That's good. So Google Drive I will be talking about how you navigate. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with Google Drive. So we'll talk about navigating through your Google Drives, talk about menus, how you will be using Google Drives, organizing your files, and how you'll be able to share files, and why it is important to keep your resources on the cloud. And then there is a new idea called Team Drive. We'll talk about how Team Drive and Shared Drive is different from each other. We will talk about setting up workspaces. So workspaces is essentially an advanced feature of Google Drive. For example, you are working on 7 different projects, project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is sometimes very difficult for you to go and find, let's say this is your drive, right? And then you have like millions of files, and this is very inconvenient and very time consuming as well for you to go ahead and find specific files that belongs to many different projects that you're currently working on. So workspace, this little thing is actually, I found it very effective. I removed all my workspaces to demonstrate today, but I'll show you how workspace will be helping you to stay on track for a week, for a month, even for a whole academic year or semester. And then we'll talk about backup your files weekly. Rohit, I would like to apologize to Professor Dr. Rohit because we lost a few of his personal laptop files due to some technical problems. So that is why I also wanted to tell everybody else to have a weekly backup of your desktop onto the cloud. Since we have unlimited space on Google Cloud, that will not be an issue. And then we'll talk about Google Classroom. Classroom is essentially Google's very new product, I would say, because they haven't done a lot still. Classroom is basically a platform where you'll be able to conduct LMS. This is basically a learning management system where you'll be able to create courses. Rolling out assignment is very easy. You can also grade your student, and you can also export these grades to transfer them to Blackbox, where we keep our central records. And then after that, if we'll still have time, I'm sure we will take some time, but if we have enough time after that, we'll talk about Google Sites and why sites are very, very important for especially academics, professors, assistant professors. Site is one exciting and very, very effective way of showcasing what you are doing. That means, as a faculty member, sometimes a lot of you might have idea that will open up your own domain. That is one task which will require some sort of technical ability and expertise at the same time. But Google Site is very, very flexible, and I'll show you how easy it is for you to go ahead and create a personal profile of yourself.
This is the same site they were referring to?
That was Google Scholar.
Yes.
Google Scholar, we also have very exclusive access on Google Scholar because we have subscribed ourselves with Google Suite, and that is why Google actually considers us in a very, very different way than they consider every other businesses.
So developing a profile on Google Scholar is not the same as doing this.
No, sir. Google Site looks something like this one. I have actually tried to find out one site that is on Google Site and how it looks. So this is basically Professor Chu, I guess, Professor Chu. He is a University of Toronto professor, and he is showcasing with the free domain, which is essentially built on Google Sites. He is showcasing what he is actually doing. So if we go to people, he's actually showcasing the researchers or the graduate assistants that he has. That's his CV. That's his postdoctoral researcher. Basically, probably these are the students that is working under him right now. And then he's also showcasing his research and a lot of other things. Google Site is actually very, very similar to traditional websites, but very, very effective. Because you are already tagged with by opening a website with Google Site, you actually giving yourself much more chance to be even more visible than everyone else. If you have a personal domain, that is all right. But having a Google Site will give you much more exposure. That is what our research says. And then after that, if you still have time, we'll talk about Prezi a bit. Prezi is essentially a very flexible and effective way of presenting your ideas to your audiences. Prezi is considered to be that they have many packages, paid packages, but you also have a free version of it, which is I believe is enough for everyone.
So we want to introduce Prezi to all the classrooms.
So I would like to request to start it immediately after one because it will be much more interesting, and if we cannot go through that because of shortage of time, it will not be a good one for us.
So just to give you an idea, and my delivery will be in mixed mode basically. I'll be
But
talking
this is a policy issue. That's why I wanted to mention this, that Prezi will be considered as another PowerPoint tool for Israel University. So each and every student should know Prezi as much as he knows PowerPoint. So it's imperative that you, as faculty members, also know what Prezi is and how to develop a file in Prezi.
So the other document that we saw earlier is actually a summary, and these documents are shareable. I will send out everything when we are done here. So let's start. I will be talking both in Bengali and English at the same time.
We understand Hindi as well, very good.
And I can do that as well. But Hindi, I think that will be an insult to our nation.
Start, please. Quick.
So Gmail, we will talk. First, we will talk about setting up vacations and out of the office responses. So you will go to your Gmail account, and then at the corner you will see a setting button. You go there and click on settings. So there are many other options, as you can see on the top, but we are interested for now in general. So if you scroll down at the bottom, you will see there is a button called vacation response on. So when you are going out of office, you just simply go and click on that button here, and then select from when you will not be available, and then and we can subject is whatever makes sense, out of office probably, and then you can actually include your message that you want to send out, whoever sends you email. These are the two important settings. This is exclusive to G Suite Educations and Enterprise. It is not available probably in the non-paid version of Google. So one is only send a response to people in my contact, which is you have already contact means in Google contact means if you took part in a conversation with a person for a single time, then you become his or her contact. So basically, if you never exchanged an email with anybody else, if he sends you an email for the first time when you are on vacation, he won't be getting any responses from you. And then this is second setting is only send a response to the people in East Delta University, which essentially means that only people from only if the people from your organization sends you an email when you are not available, then and only then you'll be getting a response. Only those people who work with you under East Delta University.
If you want to make sure that response go to everyone, what do you do? Not tick any of them.
Whoever emails you, sir.
Whoever emails you. Then leave it like that.
There is no such option, but I will do my research and then I will.
No, I think you just leave those two as they are, and just.
Probably, yes, actually, yes.
That's it.
Even I did not use this feature for a long time, so I forgot. So okay, so this is the first setting. I'm sure if anyone needs any personal help, IT team will be able to do so for you. So going to the next organizing emails and labels and filtering. So I'll firstly talk about labeling your email and why it is important for you. Let's say if you look at my email, as I told you earlier, I have thousands of email, and this is very inconvenient for me to find a specific email that I'm looking for. So I will give you an example. Here, let's say I have created my own labels, quite a few actually. So yeah, these labels allows me to read out my incoming emails depending either on who is sending me the emails, or I can manually categorize my email to go to a specific label that I've created. To give you an example, I will create a label. So how do you create a label? You just simply click on more, and then there is an option to create a label. As you can see, this is a test label. I will create a new label for me, test label, create, and then I will attach this label to an incoming sender to me. For example, Rigonsa, do you have access to your mobile right now? Can you send me a test email? Just wait for a minute. This is one very interesting searching option. Let's talk about the searching option simultaneously. So when you normally we search here, but there is a little down arrow that you can click, and then advanced searching feature will show up. So here I will provide Vidwan search email address, and then I will tell it where to go, where this email will go. So if you are done, inputting your email address, you simply click on filter. This is very important. You can simply click on filter, and then whole other bunch of different options will show up. So what I want to do, I want to apply. There are many other options, but I'm interested in this label for now. If I click apply the label, and then I want it will give you an option to choose a specific label. So in this case, I'm interested in test label, and then I will click on create my filter. Rigonsa, can you send me? So labels are applicable. I'm demonstrating this because you can also do it for like multiple people. Let's say for IQSC, blank. Okay. Let's say you are part of IQSC team and you want to have all your IQSC email to under a specific label. So when you so the email is actually showing up here, and also it will go here. So if I receive thousands of other email after Ridwan Karim's email that I received today, I will be receiving tons of other emails tomorrow and day after and then after. So essentially this email will get lost in these email chunks of mine. As you can see, it is also labeled here, and you can always go back and click on the labels and find Ridwan Karim's email. If this is IQSC's label, all the member of the IQSC, let's say what position are you holding in the IQSC? You're the coordinator. So let's say we have 10 different members in the IQSC program, and then you can create a label of 10 different people, and then you can assign that label for those 10 individuals, and every time you receive email from any of those 10 individuals, every email will go to your inbox at the same time to your label.
There can be more than one label for each individual.
Yes, yes.
So Ridwan Karim can go to test, each email can go to test label.
And also
can go to other IQAC, IQAC.
Yeah. This is the next topic actually. Filters. So filters is a way of rerouting your emails. It sounds a bit misleading. When I was studying to give today's presentation, as far at the first, during the beginning of my research, I ended up thinking this is probably another way of filtering your email, separating one email from another. This is, yes, a way of separating your emails, but in a very, very different way. So when you want to create a filter, you simply go there on your search bar, and then you click here, and then let's say if you want to filter your email from our Vice Chairman said, you can even give it a subject if you want, and you can also create some other options. This is also goes for searching, as you can see. You can make advanced searches. You can hash words, for example, green to here, and then you can search. You can also create it as a filter. And when you click filter, the result is very different, as you saw earlier. Then when you click on filter, more options will show up, and you'll be able to do more with what you want to do with this particular criteria that you just searched. Alternatively, you can click on search. So this is how the search, as you can see, the search is generated in a very, very meaningful pattern. So we'll talk about advanced search later. So I hope labeling and filtering is all set for now, and then we'll go to conducting searches. Using Gmail search function, we already know how to do basic searches, but I will talk about only 2 or 3 operator. As you can see, there is a form, there is another operator called to, there are subject, or, and third bracket probably. So how you can use this and how they are different. For example, if I want to look for SARS email, it will give me emails, but it will actually show me emails of every email that SAR is a part of. So let's say I have I don't know how many. So that's around 1,500. So I actually want to know what are the emails that he sent me directly, not all those emails that he is also in loop. So to do that, I'll simply go here and then I'll just type from and then okay, from, and then the search result will be very, very different. Just to give you an idea, Qazi Zahid and many other people are here. So I will simply create the advanced filter, and then you will see that it is showing me all the emails that he is the sender of. So this is very convenient. Now also my search result is very different, but it is prioritizing all the emails that he sent us and or me directly. He is actually the primary sender.
No, probably
maybe all other people are in the
loop.
loop.
Directly, it is from him to you and other parties.
But I am in the loop.
From to, then it will be from and to. After from, to.
No, that's here. If you want to do that,
Yeah,
that's more.
Because these are not the mails he sent to you only.
No,
the
other
mails
people
he
in
sent
the
to
loop.
some other people as well.
But send by him, and where am I in the loop? Yes. So you can also click, as you can see, from. It's similar to the other options, and you can search or, which is very much like traditional programming languages. Let's say I want to search green to or something else, invoices. Yeah. So there are many other ways. I will share you a document with all the search options, or you can also do it here. So when you require to apply multiple or, that is when you utilize this little brackets here, and then you search everything within this bracket. So every word you say, let's say you type green to tab other thing space. So these are actually an alternative way of stop putting or after every word that keyword that you use to conduct your search. So we'll move to the second option, Google Calendar. Setting working hour is very important. Is very, very important. What that do is it tells everyone when I am available at the office. If you share your calendar, then people will know that. So how you do mention your working hour? You simply go if you log into your account, you'll see one calendar by default under your name right here. So this is common for everyone. I have many other calendars in my account, but you simply go here and click setting and sharing. So this is where you will find working hours. Probably. Oh no, not here. Probably here. Yeah. So I'll do it again. So how do you go to calendar? You simply type calendar.google.com.